Welcome everyone to another installment of Professor Bryant's mini lectures. Today's mini lecture will be discussing light and the phenomenon of light. So when we speak about light, we have to understand that light behaves as a wave in whatever direction that wave is propagating. In this case, we can assume that the propagation of the wave is in this direction. And the green is showing a generic form of a wave of light, which has a repeating pattern, which has also a set distance that is a function of its wavelength. And that wavelength is shown here via the Greek symbol lambda. Lambda is generally measured in meters, an SI unit that we should already be familiar with. Now, there are many different types of light, and these light types span from gamma radiation all the way to what we call radio waves, which are in the longer wavelengths, such as FM and AM radio, television, and then in some cases radar. Now, most of the time when we think about visible light, we think about the rainbow or Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And this is shown here in terms of nanometers. So visible light is in the nanometer realm. Beyond that are infrared, and then on the other side, ultraviolet, which are a little shorter than violet in the visible spectrum. And then we are also familiar with X-rays, which are penetrating, gamma radiation, which is extremely dangerous and can be harmful to humans specifically. So from crest to crest, as denoted here in red, this is the length of a wave, and that is how it would be measured if you obviously had a ruler to measure that wave. However, through theoretical calculations and the work done via Einstein and the theory of relativity, we have a value for the speed of light, which is listed as c in our equations as 2.99 times 10 to the 8 meters per second. So most of the work that we're going to be doing is going to be utilizing these units. Also, how many waves pass through a wavelength in the unit of time, which we denote as seconds, is what we call the frequency. And the frequency is denoted by lowercase nu, Greek symbol, and it is a number of waves per second. Now, since numbers of waves are countable and not measured using an SI unit, then the unit is actually seconds to the negative 1, as you see here. And that is also equivalent to hertz, another scientist that was utilizing the science of light at the time, and they have since named that unit of seconds to the negative 1 after him. Once it was calculated that the speed of light was approximately 2.99 times 10 to the 8 meters per second, a direct algebraic correlation was made that shows that wavelength lambda and frequency nu here are inversely proportional to one another, meaning that as you increase the wavelength, you will decrease the frequency, and vice versa. Decreasing the wavelength will increase the frequency. Since c is a constant, if we know one of the other two variables, we can always solve for the third. So let's take a look at question 3 on the in-class worksheet, which states, determine the frequency of a light with a wavelength of 8.23 times 10 to the 2 nanometers. Keywords here: frequency, wavelength, and the value of 8.23 times 10 to the 2 nanometers. Remember, we always and may have to convert. Now, we already have in scientific notation, so that should help us. what we see here is our value of 8.32 times 10 to the 2 nanometers. And the key is that our units are in nanometers, but our units of measurement of our constant are meters. So it would be best for us to go ahead and convert, and we convert that utilizing dimensional analysis. And in this dimensional analysis, we should be able to see that we are canceling nanometers and we are leaving ourselves with a value in meters. Same number of significant figures, and that will be 8.32 times 10 to the negative 7. Algebraically, we should recognize that by dividing both sides by lambda, we can isolate the variable of interest, which is frequency, and find ourselves with the speed of light divided by the wavelength, which we just converted to meters, and we can cancel out meters as shown here. Both of these now cancel. We have left ourselves with the unit of interest, which is frequency seconds to the negative 1. After inputting this into the calculator, you should recognize at this point that you will have 3 significant figures, and you should have a very large magnitude for the frequency because of the size of the wavelength. Now, looking at the following question, it talks about what is the wavelength of a red stoplight. Here I have listed for you some of the generic colors on the visible light spectrum and their frequencies in terms of terahertz. We must remember that prefixes we are going to see in future assessments, and these prefixes need to be familiar to you. What is the wavelength of a red stoplight? First question. Second question, would we expect a green stoplight's wavelength to be longer or shorter? Now, from a computational perspective, remember our units of interest are seconds to the negative 1. So to get us to that point, you will notice that I have utilized dimensional analysis and terahertz are 1 times 10 to the 12 hertz. So within our dimensional analysis, we are able to cancel terahertz. We're able to cancel hertz, even though hertz and seconds to the negative 1 are the same. And we've left ourselves with a value of 4.80 times 10 to the 14 seconds to the negative 1. Realize that this is technically only 3 significant figures if we have a decimal there. So I will leave that there to show that it should be 3. We then have lambda equaling C over nu, which is the manipulation of algebraic expression by dividing both sides by the frequency, and we find ourselves with meters as a unit of interest and seconds to the negative 1 both being canceled during this process. And we notice that this should be a much smaller number from an order of magnitude because we're dividing what is a very large number in the speed of light by an even larger number, which is the frequency. And you should be able to input this into your calculator, come up with that computation. And if you have any further questions about that, feel free to email me or bring that information to class. Now, as it pertains to the second part of this, would we expect a green stoplight's wavelength to be longer or shorter? Well, if we took a look at our wave image, we see that red has a longer wavelength in nanometers than green. So we could justify that using this type of image, but we should also be able to justify this mathematically. What do I mean? Well, if we were to do this for, let's say, green based on our worksheet, if we utilized 580 times 10 to the 14 frequency over 2.99 times 10 to the 8 meters seconds to the -1. We should recognize mathematically, even without doing any computation, that a even bigger number in the denominator, in this case, would lead us to a smaller value and therefore a smaller wavelength. So mathematically and pictorially, we could get to that same outcome. Again, this will be the wavelength of green, and then here is the wavelength for red. Again, any further questions, feel free to send me an email.